Right, so hello, and welcome back to another episode of the podcast Chatzzz. And we've got a very, very special guest today, Amii Haughan.
Haughan.
Oh, that was I'm so sorry.
The nerves, and I was like, I'm going to do this. I said, believe in you.
I said Amii, and I was like, I'm going to fuck it up in. I did ask you before how to pronounce it. Man.
You know what? It happens all the time. I'm telling you, you're not the only one. I'm so used to it now. I'm just like, I should pretend I've got no second name. Amii works.
Yeah. So I messaged you, was it last or this week?
You know what? I don't know. To be honest, I'm so bad with my timings. It just all blends into one day.
And yeah, here we are. So what, and very nice gym as well, by the way, when I walked in there. I didn't know what to expect, but very, very impressive. It's such a cool area. So
I said, just pretend that's not there for now. That's temporary. And then everything else looks really pretty.
Yeah. Nice. So what we'll do is, I don't think I messaged you about this, but we get people to introduce themselves to like the listeners or the viewers, how you'd introduce yourself for the first time, if you were meeting someone out in the street or getting introduced. So how would you do that to the viewers or listeners?
Well,
Putting you on the spot.
Amii. I own RWA Studios. By the way, it stands for Results with Amii because everybody asks that, and I'm like, let's do that. I am ridiculous, to say the least. I don't shut up. And basically, I love teaching you people, teaching women, teaching people how to be confident in themselves, understand what to do in the gym, how to feel good, I just love being with people. Like anything to do with people, I love talking to people, I love teaching them what to do in their lives, how to help them just be good in themselves and just, I don't even know what to say. I just honestly, just being around as many people as possible, feel like I've like made their day just that little bit better, just a glimmer of hope or made them smile or made them laugh, anything like that. It's just my soul. Anything to do with anything, to do with people, making them happy, that is where I shine. That's all I ever want to do. And then I found a nice little outlet of doing it as sport, doing it in the gym and doing it fitness and having the opportunity of bringing people in and making them feel good in themselves and just having a good day to perk them up and let them leave with a smile on their face. It's all I ever want to do. That is it. That was a terrible intro.
No, I was going to say that's probably the most wholesome intro I've ever had.
Oh, it sounds like I'm so like witch them. I'm like, sorry about that.
No, it's a nice way to introduce yourself. So then I prepped you this morning, quite last minute. Yeah. 3 facts. So you said you were boring to me as well, didn't you?
Yeah, I was like, God, I don't know what to say. Like, what do people want to know? I was like, I've not got that much interest to come out with. So I think one of them was that I used to work in the hospital and I used to work with amputees, which was unreal. Lots of different people, from this beautiful little girl who was missing both arms and one leg. She was born that way. And oh my God, what a bundle of joy she was. She was amazing. We used to work with a little girl like that. I've worked with, there was a guy who was really old who was suffering from cancer and he couldn't speak because he had a trachea in, and I used to work with him and he was missing his leg. And just like coming in every day, you could tell the choice words he said that he shouldn't have said, even though he couldn't speak. He knew what he was saying. And I used to just love working with those people. I worked with them for quite a while. I really enjoyed that job. And then...
How did that come about then?
So random. I used to, went to uni and then I left uni just because I hate learning the way you learn at uni. It was just terrible. Like I found it so much easier learning outside of school environments. But when I left there, I needed to get a job. So I worked as a secretary at a hospital and there was a job going in physio and I knew I wanted to do more sports-based stuff. So I went for the job and I actually didn't get it the first time. I had to wait. The guy that was going to get it was a student then. He got like first dibs. They're like, oh, you interviewed so well before she not looking. I was gutted. And then later on, I got a phone call saying, oh, he's not doing it anymore. He's going somewhere else, back home or something. So I was like, oh my God, yes, good job. And then I just started working there and the hospital was unreal. It was amazing. I worked in a whole department where I got to work with wheelchair services and like learn what they did. I got to work with the team who made the prosthetics, which by the way is the coolest process. I don't know if you've ever seen it. They have like this mad workshop and they have like molds of everyone's legs and just the way they build it. And like, so, the little girl I said before, they've put like stickers all over hers for her. They made them mad colours. It's honestly really impressive. It's such a cool place to be. And then, I just loved it when I was there. It was surprising. One of those things, one thing just led to another. And then I was only there a few months before I'd finished my PT course and I had enough clients where I was just like, right, I can leave. I was like, I've just got here and I kind of don't want to leave, but I do. I was like, I don't know what to do now. But yeah, I loved it. And then ever since then, I've been doing this.
Nice.
It's just crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy.
What was the second fact?
Second fact. Oh, God. Definitely a workaholic.
Yeah. Oh, you said that to me before.
Workaholic. Oh, God. Yeah. I just don't stop out all the time. Even when I was like 14, I had like 3 jobs. I used to work in a kennels, and then I worked in a fish and chip shop, and I worked as a gymnastics coach. Oh, no, 4. And I had my own little after-school club that my PE teacher used to come with me and supervise. She would do marking in the corner. And then I would just be sitting doing all of my coaching with like these 30, like 4-year-olds. I'm like, this is a lot. I'm only 50. This is a lot. And I was just like teaching all these little kids and trying to make them do dances and stuff. And it was so hard. But it was a lot of fun, to be fair. But yeah, I used to just always have like multiple jobs at one go. I just couldn't. One just wasn't enough. So I used to be at school and then I'd be like, I've got this job tonight. I've got that job tonight. Oh, I've got anything on the weekend. I'm doing that and I just don't stop.
Where do you think that's came from, you workaholic or work ethic?
I honestly don't know. I think my dad's got a lot to do with it. He's worked at McVitie's pretty much all his life and like since he was like 21. And because obviously he had us and it was always good money, he didn't have the opportunities when he was younger to get the job he wanted. But he's always stuck it out because he's done best for us. And he's honestly gave us so much to do. And I think he's just drilled it into us being like, never settle for a job. If that's not what you want, don't do it. I was like, find something else. I said, just stick it out until you can leave. Go and do something else. Just do what you want. And it's just instilled in your brain. I think I've just always liked to be busy. And then now I'm like, right, I don't ever want to just settle on a job because I'm just there. I've always been like, well, no, I could do more than that. And I was like, what's the worst that's going to happen? Yeah. I need to move back home. I move back home. And mum and dad are always going to have me back. Probably to their detest. But, you know, if it ever needed to, I could always go back home. It's like, oh, if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. It's fine. It's better than staying somewhere and hating it for the rest of my life. So I think I've just always liked to dabble in lots of different things. And if an opportunity came up to get another job, I'd be like, well, does it pay more? Is it right hours? Right, go for it. See what happens. I even worked at the Crown of Mitre at one point. I used to be drunk on most of those shifts, mind. Breakfast shifts. I remember me and Carly, we were like 17 and we used to go out all the time. And we used to just rock in. We went bed together. We used to come after a night out and just go in on the morning and be like, it's breakfast shift. We'll be steaming. I used to just sit in the kitchen rather than going out and see people and have like a little, the toast racks that come through. I used to just do on toast duties. I'm like, that's all I can do today. No more than that. That's enough. They should just do there instead. But yeah, I loved just having loads of different jobs. I loved working with different people. I had loads of different friends, different groups of people I like to hang around with. I just couldn't help myself. It's just like, oh, I've got more hours. Right, okay, yeah, I'll have them. I'll take them on. Whatever you've got, I'll do. And I just somehow fit it all in. Yeah. I don't even know how I did, to be honest. I had like
you make it work though, can't you?
Oh, God, yeah. I still had time to see all my friends. I wasn't like somebody that worked all the time. I mean, I did. But I always see my friends as well. I wasn't just on my own at work. But yeah, I just couldn't help myself. I just had to always have the next job, always find either more money to save or like I really wanted a car when I was 17. So I was like, right, okay, I'm going to work hard. I need to save up. And I've just always had something I'm working towards, always a reason to work. Right, okay, now I want the car. Right, okay, first girl holiday, that's the next thing, save for that. And just always had something to work towards to want to work for it.
Yeah.
Can't sit still.
Yeah, it's a good mindset to have.
It's a bad trait sometimes.
Good and bad though, I'd imagine.
It is definitely. You have to use it wisely.
And then the third fact.
You know what? I wrote it down and I totally forgot what it was. I was going to tell you all this and I'd spiel. I'm like, I don't even know what I was going to tell you. No, I think it was just like doing sports. I've done sport all my life. Like, I think since I was little, I did gymnastics at school and then I competed in that until I was like 18. And it's not pretty being a leotard at 18-year-old, I'm not going to lie. It's not as glamorous as when you're like 10 and you look really cute on a beam. It's not so cute when you're older. And then I did trampolining, I done netball, I done tag rugby. I even randomly have, a certificate in badminton refereeing.
Oh, interesting.
Random. I also got a rugby leaders. I even have an orienteering badge. I don't even know what that was for. I think they didn't have enough volunteers. It's because like, Amii, I'll do it. I'm like, yeah, I'll do it. Where do you want me? And I think I just did it anyway. And I'm like, why would I sign up for that? I've got probably the most random qualifications in sport that I've never used, but I did it anyway. I'm like, well, I've got it now. Why just keep using it? I had like a rugby leaders award, a dance leaders award. I don't even know what I've got. I've got like a whole list of them. And I'm like, why did I do that? Who the hell wanted to go in orienteering? I was terrible. I can't even read a map. You're looking for me to staff map. I'm only good to know when it pops up with the 4 little lanes, like saying which lane you need to be in. I'm like, oh yeah, I know where I'm going. But yeah, honestly, don't know how I didn't get lost and stuck in some sort of mad forest on my own. I'm surprised I even won that award, but there you go. I'll take it. It's in the list.
That's a fact.
It's a really random one.
So then what we'll talk about, which you've touched upon already, is like going back to a little Amii then, what you were like growing up, any like first memories that's kind of like shaped you to who you are today, and anything now you're a bit older and you reflect on saying, oh, that makes sense to what I'm doing now and that kind of thing. So what were you like at a young age?
God, I think I was like quiet initially.
Oh,
My
really?
dad always said I was such a patient, quiet child. I don't know what happened in the meantime that totally switched that around. But yeah, they're always like, oh, you're just so chilled. You used to sit and wait. You're always so cute and quiet. And I'm like, now, I don't bloody shut up. Talk to anyone and everyone. Talk to a wall. But yeah, like when I was younger, I do remember, like, like I said before about my dad, I just remember that being instilled in me. And I was like, no, you need to work hard, get what you want. I said, never settle for anything. I think that's been a big thing that's always played on my mind. And I think my mum and dad just always, like, it felt like they never really said no. Like whenever I wanted to do something, they've always like played devil's advocate and always said like, oh, is this going to work? Is that going to work? And I think they've always encouraged me to do a lot. And like, if I wanted to do something, it's never really been a no. So I think I've just always had that carefreeness now, or like, oh, it'll be all right. Or like, I'm not scared to jump into something big because I know it'll be fine. Like they've always said, yeah, you can go for it. Yeah, this will be fine. Go for this, try this. Or like whenever I'm like, oh, I want to do this club, and they just used to make it work. And it was like, for them, it was probably like a big struggle, wondering who's going to take and when, who's going to fit it all in, fitting it around my sister. And yet I've always just been able to do whatever I wanted, within reason.
Yeah. But I think that's a big thing, isn't it? Like your parents growing up and, like you say, them allowing you to take risks or do whatever you want.
Yeah.
And kind of learn from your own experiences. They will always say, oh yeah, you should maybe think about this, you should maybe think about that.
Yeah.
But I think, having a solid foundation of your parents is a big thing, isn't it, growing up? And I was speaking to somebody the other day in my last podcast, and she was saying that she had a good support network and she can't even imagine what it'd be like for the parents to be separated and like being toed and froed, and how big of impact that does have on people growing up. Because I'd imagine that, like, my parents are together, so I'm lucky in that sense. But yeah, I think I'm lucky, and it sounds like you're very lucky. You've had that as well.
God, I couldn't imagine that. That would literally, it'd be awful. I honestly feel for people that are in that situation. I'm really lucky that that's not the case. Like even that, like I always say to all my clients and people that I work with in here, I've also got the best group of friends that I've had. Like 2 of my friends I've known since I was 4 years old. And I'm bridesmaid at a wedding this year. And I'm like, how bad's that? It's not many people can say they've been friends with their like a best friendship group for like 25 years. It's just like, that's not 25 years, can't count. God, that's not one of my skills. My clients will tell you that I can't count to 10 to save my life. But yeah, like we've been friends for such a long time. And it's like I've always had such a good friendship group. Like since I was really little, and then going into secondary school, I actually started at secondary school and I ended up getting moved. Remember when St. Anne's became central? And that whole situation that was going on at the school. Mum and Dad moved me out and moved me over to Morton. And I think at the time I protested, but it was the best thing they ever did. Because now the friends I've got now are lifelong friends that literally, like I know when people meet me and then meet my friends, they can see how we are the way we are. We're all like a little mini version of each other. And we've always had like ambitions to either go travel, or we've always been like career orientated. Whereas like most people our age would be like, oh, we're settling down, having kids, which is not wrong. I think that's great. Just we as a group, we're all very more, we've all like tried to explore the world. I've lived in Dubai for a while. A few of my friends, like we've all got our own businesses and we've all got careers, and we've made that like a big thing. And it's just, if I didn't have the group of friends I've got, I don't think I would be doing this. And like little things, like even Scott, I remember when I first started this, sorry, total tangent, first started this, I wanted to do it in my back garden. We've got like a shed, and I was like, oh, if we just expand the shed, I can have people in there. I don't have to work at a gym anymore. This is like after COVID. And then Scott was like, no, Amii. And I'm like, what do you mean? No. I said, I can't believe he said no. No, it's just like, he didn't want to do it at all. And you know what? The fact that he said no, I try not to tell him too often, but I'm just like, the fact he said no, I wouldn't have had this place otherwise. And I wouldn't have had wherever we're going next. But I'm just so happy, like I've had like him around me saying like no when it was the right time, even though I didn't like him for it at the time. Like Mum and Dad moved me out of school and I didn't like it, but it turned out for the best. And it's just all those people around me. I think I wouldn't be where I am without them people.
Yeah, how important are your friends then to you? Then,
oh my God, huge. Huge. Like people, like I have a small family, but like they're basically extended family. Like, but they have like a different side of me, if that makes sense. And I honestly can't survive without them. Like, if you ever need anything or if you're worried about anything or stressed, you just send them a little quick voice note and they're like on it like wildfire. It's like, right, let's solve it. We can solve the world together. Like, there's just no end. I feel like you put anything in that group chat, solve all the world problems, everything. When? Fix, right, give me a minute. Let me just message them and I'll get back to you.
Get the Prime Minister on it.
Imagine. It was so funny, but I feel like we just conquer the world in that group chat. We just do all sorts, and it's great because everyone else doesn't see any limits either. Everyone's at the same point of where they're like, right, okay, if that's what you want to do, yeah, why not? Yeah, go for it. If that's what you want to do, there's nothing stopping you, right? Okay, you need a little bit of hand painting, getting to the next stage or whatever, right? We're round. What do you need? What hand do you want? And they're there in an instant. Like my other friend Laura, she's got her own beauty salon. She's doing loads of extensions in her rooms. And every now and again, you get when everyone's having a breakdown, have a voice note of someone like absolutely crumbling. It's like, right, you've got this. We're your biggest hype girls. Do you want us to come with a paintbrush? We're coming with rollers. What do you need? And we're just like there. And it makes it, when you have those moments where you're on an absolute verge of like having a mental breakdown, they're always there. You can come back to them and follow them any point. No matter what it is, they're always there. Makes a big difference. I
think, yeah, like that's a lucky friendship group to have, isn't it? I suppose.
Definitely.
Like I definitely don't have that. I'd say a lot of my friends, especially up here, rather than when I was in Cardiff, they just have like the normal jobs. If they work shifts or 9 to 5, and they ask about my business and stuff, but they don't truly understand. Yeah, you know what I mean. So that's such a cool thing to have, I think. Yeah,
definitely.
And that's good. So what did you want to do then when you were growing up with these friends? Obviously, like you say, you had that mindset, and not everyone has that mindset as well, I think.
No.
Especially, I'd say, young girls and women and stuff. I think business is more of like a taboo subject. A lot of girls, I think.
Definitely.
When I have like men on the podcast, they're quite happy, like tooting their own horn and stuff, which is fine. But I feel like women don't as much. It's not like the norm, maybe. But
yeah, no, I know, I see what you mean. I was literally saying this to Carla the day we were on the treadmill, where you solve world problems on the treadmill, do a little warm up and whatnot. And we were saying, it's just like, I seen someone on Instagram posted it, and it really hit home. It's like, we're like a new generation of like, even like men and women, just a new generation of going for something different. Like, it's become like a really big thing now that you can have your own business. It's very normal. Like, there's so many different ways to make money now, rather than just going to work in a building for somebody else and do what you need to do. There's so many other ways now. Like, I think everyone's got so creative, or like Instagram, like shows like yes, it's glamorous sometimes every now and again, but shows that you can do what you want as long as you just understand how to make money from that and how to show a purpose. And if there's a demand for something, putting it out there, like you can do whatever. And I think we were saying how like a lot of the time it used to be when we were younger, like, we thought, when we're 21, we'll settle down, we'll have family, we'll have kids we'll be raising. And we're all like, approaching like 27, we're like, oh God, hasn't hit home yet. We're 27, like, when's it actually going to sink in that that's what we have to do now? And I think it's just, like, I think it was always like, we all thought that was what it was going to be. And then I think as we started like going on different adventures and like going on places together, and everyone's like wanting to go to uni and starting to learn things there, and just, I think everyone's got to a point where it's like, oh, no, actually, okay, we can do this. Why can't we do that? And it's like, I remember Laura saying she went to college to do beauty. And at the time, that was always like, oh, what a cop out. As if you went to college to do beauty, you're just going to do hair. And it's like, well, hold on a minute. Do you know how much money people can make from doing beauty and hair? If you do it well, you can do so well from it. Why is that something that's not applauded? Like, everyone used to just be, you're just going to college to do hair, God. It just always looked like a downward thing to do. Like, why has she gone and done that? She can't do anything else. And then it's like, now, honestly, if you're not in the beauty industry, what a mistake.
It's massive now, isn't it?
It's huge. And I just think it's totally changed. Like, from when we were looking at what jobs to do, like, I remember when I was younger, I wanted to do sport, and I just wanted to I always just wanted to be in the circus randomly. I wanted to be like, can I just like dance around? Is that a job? Can I do that? I wasn't very good, but I would like to have thought I could have done that. And I just wanted to do like gymnastics all the time. And like, can I do this as a job? And I didn't know what I could do. And I went to uni, and I remember going to an open day, and it said about being a health trainer. I was like, I wonder what that is. And I remember Googling, and I was like, oh my God, I think that's what I want to do. And I went to obviously uni. I tried to do the learning there. Very boring. Can't listen to a lecture. My God, I don't understand how anyone even takes in that information. And like sitting, citing journals and getting told off because, it's not your work, you've plagiarized. And I'm like, well, it came from my brain. Like, I don't know what else we have to do about it. I said, now I'm have to find someone that's wrote the same thing as me, because apparently I've copied it. And I just hated all of that. So it was nice to finally get out of that and realize, oh no, I can do it without going to uni.
Yeah.
Do that instead. And yeah, I was 18, I did my PT course and I've been doing it ever since.
Yeah. So is that what you always wanted to do then, sport, or what
Yeah.
did you? Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know
sport?
why.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I think it's just something I've always been involved in. I think when I was younger, I had a gym coach. She was called Janet. And I think she's basically like our adopted like auntie now. She's part of our family. And yeah, I think because we always had such a good time at school. Like I went to such a lovely primary school and like we always did sport. And I think everyone was always really encouraging when we had like a team or we were going into competitions. It felt like the whole school was like cheering you on. And you had so like the head teacher would even come and watching, like, oh my God, the head teacher's watching me do my gymnastics routine. And it just used to be always so I know, you just like, you thought you were like famous at school because everyone knew you got to compete at the weekend. And I think just having like everyone support you at school and like everyone know about it. And there's like so many opportunities. And we used to have this really fun guy. It was called Albie. I think a few people from primary school will remember him. He used to come and do dance for a week at your school. And it was the best week of your life. If you ever met him, he was a crazy, crazy man. He used to have his little egg rattle he used to shake away. And I think the amount of opportunities that were at school for sport and just the encouragement and just how much fun they made it and just, it just made it feel so good. I think that just kind of set me up to the point where I just didn't ever do sports. Even when I went to secondary school, I was the only girl that was in sixth form that did PE. And it was just like, it didn't feel like, it felt uncomfortable. Like the lads, however much they felt like they were including you, they didn't quite get it. Like they didn't mean it or anything like that. They just didn't quite step over the mat. They didn't understand the girl side of things. Like I had a male teachers when they used to always make you do football time and rugby. And I'm like, I am terrible at this. I am so bad. I literally have no hand-eye coordination. But if you ask me to dance, I can do it. But I was just like, right, 1 week can we do trampoline? Because I feel like you as well. I'll still find that fun. And then it means I won't get kicked in the face with a football. And that'd be great. I just remember we did it and then none of them bloody joined in. And I was like, rude. But like, even then, like I was so determined to do it because the rest of the sport was so good. And I was so determined to finish and do something in sport that even though I was the only girl and it was a bit crap at the time, I was like, no, I'm sticking it out. I want to do it. Like, you're not going to put me off this. I was like, no, you're just not. I said, I'm so determined to do this that doesn't matter whether you're all going to be idiots and be really annoying. Like, I'm going to do it no matter what. And I loved it.
Would you say you've always been like a quite single-minded person then?
Yeah, definitely. I think I always have my own ideas and I don't think it's about what anyone says, no one can deter me off them. Like once I've got that idea in my head, that's it. And I will find a way to do it. And I think mum and dad have had the hard part of, I've had to like sit them down and tell them when I've got big ideas. And I'm like, right, you're not going to like it, but I'm going to do this. And they're like, are you sure? And I'm like, yes. And then my daddy's always negative Nelly, but it's always a good thing. I always find he always questions me and always says, right, what about this? You can't do that. Why would you do this? And he always gives me the look. And then I know if I've got an actual point I can give back to him to like prove him wrong, I know I'm ready to do it. Whereas if I start just like getting a bit like testy, being like, oh, well, I don't feel like solidified in my decision, but he always throws it back at me and I'm like, no, the fact that I can argue back your points knows I want to go and do it.
Yeah.
And yeah, there's definitely no way anyone could tell me otherwise.
So I heard something the other day. The parents may not always be right, but they always want the best for you, don't they?
Oh, definitely. Oh, yeah.
It's just such a true statement, I think.
Definitely.
They're just worried, don't they? They are.
Oh, God, yeah.
So then, did you enjoy like the academic side or not really? Was it mainly just like the sports and stuff?
Yeah, I think because, like I said, like I've got good friends at school. School was always really fun. Like my sister hated school. But I think I always had such an easy time at school because I had such good friends. And I think naturally I was okay at school. Like I wasn't like an A-star student or anything, but I would say I was like a good B student. Like I didn't find it too hard, but it wasn't really interesting, if that made sense. I think I just like, again, like the people aspect, like I got to spend every day with my friends. Like we did, like I remember performing arts teacher used to take us out of lessons and we used to go in the fancy dress cupboard and organise the stuff there. I think my whole school life, because I could easily breeze through the academic stuff and just get the marks that I needed to kind of go where I wanted to go, I got so many other opportunities. I got taken out of school to go do all the sports stuff, do all the sitting around and doing the performing arts stuff. I got to do all the dance things. I got to be with my friends all day. It's just the people aspect that I like, that because I didn't have to think about the academic side. I just kind of just got through it, that I enjoyed the other stuff more. So I didn't have to think about it. But yeah, if I had to sit now and do school again, it would fill me with dread. I just don't think I would like to do it. Learning like that and sitting with books and stuff, Couldn't think of anything worse.
Yeah, I'll take that.
Couldn't think of anything worse. I couldn't do it.
So then what was the plan in 18 going to uni? Why did you want to go to uni then?
I think at the time, because none of my family had went to uni, I was like, I want to be the first one to do it. I want to be the one to go. And I remember mum and dad at the time being like, you don't need to go to uni. There's so many things you can do here. And I think just that in itself was like, well, now I am really going to go. So
rebelling against them.
I think it was just that. And they always were just like, are you sure you want to go? And I was just like, yeah, no doubt in my mind, I'm going. I want to go. I said, you don't need to. No, I'm going. And I couldn't help it. There's just something in my mind was just so clear that I was like, I'm going. And I just wanted to go there. I was just like, I can learn how to do this. This is how I'm going to be a PT. Or like at the time I said it was a health trainer, but I didn't really know what that was. I just was rolling with it. I found a term and stuck to it. And then, when I went, I just couldn't stand it. People were so dirty.
Yeah, where did you go?
So dirty. Leeds Met.
Okay, yeah.
Went to Leeds Met.
Cool city, Leeds, yeah.
Oh, really cool city, really cool. And the uni was really good to be. The sports side of uni is brilliant there. But again, I just didn't like how you learned there. It just like, I didn't feel like I was learning. I just felt like I was being recited to.
Yeah.
Like, just like being like, oh, this is what you need to know. This is how you got to write it. Make sure you don't copy anybody else's work. But if you do, write it down. And I was like, what am I even learning? Like, this doesn't feel like I'm learning anything. I'm not taking any information in. I said, I don't understand what you're telling me. I'm just rewriting things and pretending not to copy. And I was like, this is not learning, just to get a certificate at the end. And I was like, and then when I looked into it, I realized I could do what I wanted to do without it. So I was just like, right, I'm coming home. I said, prepare, I'm coming back. I went straight back to gymnastics coach, and then obviously got the job at the hospital, and then done my course in the meantime. And then before I knew it, I was flat out at DW is where I started. I was flat out there with clients, and then I've just been a bit of a gym whore and moved around every gym in Carlisle. But I'm so glad I did, because it's made me point out things that I don't want for when I can get gym.
Yeah.
So
then how old were you? Were you 18 when you went to uni then, yeah?
Yeah, 18, went straight after school.
Yeah, and then how long did you last before you pied it off then?
3 months.
3 months? Oh,
like,
quick.
Literally.
You must have made like a decision like that then to leave.
It really was. Like, as soon as I was there, I think I didn't like the fact that like I was trying to get a job there, and the guy that was giving me a job was just so lazy. He was just like, yeah, we'll get you a job. Don't worry, it'll come back. I'm like, I'm running out of money, mate. Like, I'm having to, like, because the mum and dad, like my dad brought in enough money. It was still not enough that he could give me money to go to uni with. That the loans just they don't pay out for you. I hated being skint. I hated it. And I couldn't get the job at the time. And then the people you were around were just weird. I was around some strange people. A lot of people that I was in my course were really nice, but the people I had to live with, they were just a bit odd. Like, they were either too quiet, you would never see someone come out the room, or one of them was on top of someone every minute she got. So I didn't really see her. And then there was only one guy that was there that I liked, and he was a mature student. I think he was like 22, and his girlfriend used to come and visit, and I got along with her really well. Obviously, it was once in a blue moon she came to visit. So I think I just like being like at your home, and like there's no one there you want to crack to. And then all the people that were on my course were like an hour away, and I couldn't afford to keep traveling to see them, and I needed to come back home. And it's just, didn't like the learning. I was like, no, I've got to go. I need to go home. This is not for me. Yeah. Not for me at all.
That's interesting. So then when you came home, then what was the plan? Do the PT course?
Yeah. So at first it was just like a panic to get a job. I got a gym club. I was working there as a coach. That was a job I had 4 left. So I had that as normal. And then obviously worked at the hospital, then done my course. I got the physio job and then done PT, and I've done it ever since. And then I got this mad idea where I wanted to move to Dubai. Yeah. Then I decided to move to Dubai, and I was there for like 6 months. That was really good. I enjoyed that. Unbelievable place.
Yeah, I love it.
Unbelievable place. Honestly, circumstances brought me home, but I probably could go back now if I tried. I told Scott we're going to Dubai, but like, it's too hot. I'm not going there. So close.
I've never been in the summer, but apparently it is extremely hot, like 40 odd degrees and stuff.
Well, I came home by I went in like the January, and I came home by the June, and it was hot, really hot. I remember one day I panicked. I went to the beach like at 6 a.m. because it's really hot by that time, but hot enough you can lay out in it. But you have to kind of come home by like 10 because it just gets way too hot. And I remember my phone overheated, and I'd brought like loads of bottles of water, drank them all. I was like, right, I need to get an Uber. I need to get back home. And my phone overheated. I couldn't get on my phone. I was like, it's been hot. It's like an hour and a half walk away. I can't get back home. And I was like walking for ages, just trying to get in a shop or get under like a bridge or something to cool my phone down to get an Uber. And I remember like, okay. Like I was like, don't pass out, it's fine. You've got no water left. Your phone doesn't work, but it's okay. It was one of those moments being like, I think I've screwed this up now. I said, I'm really hot. And it's just like, you don't realize. And then you get there and you're like, okay, I've got myself in a situation. I am definitely a tourist abroad. I was like, I've not dealt with this very well at all. But yeah.
How did the opportunity to go over to Dubai come about then?
I was seeking out. And I was just like, I wanted to go to America, but getting, like, I got a job offer in America, but you had to get your own visa, and then trying to get like guarantors to take you over there, it was so difficult. And I was like, otherwise you buy yourself in. It's like, yeah, I'm not that rich. Definitely can't buy myself over there. So then my next leap was thinking, right, well, if I go to Dubai, you can make a fortune in Dubai. I'll then buy my way into America, or find someone in Dubai that's might take me with them. So like that's what I initially went over for. So I remember I rang loads of gyms in Dubai, found Fitness First, and then went through the whole situation with them and worked with them. But yeah, the job was under a commission structure and it was terrible. Like you didn't really get much out of it at all. So yeah, it was crazy. It should have been really good, but it wasn't. But yeah, tried to go on my own. Tried to do a month of like being like self-employed out there, but my visa only lasted 30 days before I had to come home. So I just made as much money in that month as I possibly could. And I was like, right, take it home and let's go and start something new. And then they came home and then COVID happened.
Oh yeah. COVID's always a big turning point in everyone's life at the moment. How did that kind of alter things for you?
Oh, huge. I came home and I was working in body tech at the time. And yeah, it was awful. Had to do all my PT from my phone, which is terrible. It was actually the worst. Like my clients were so good at sticking it out and they bought stuff for being at home, and I had to get really creative, and I was trying to be so upbeat on the phone, but it really just brought you down every minute you tried to do it. It's like, that is not how I wanted to. Like, you can't interact with people the same. It's just, you're on your phone. I was sitting in my bedroom at the end of my bed, like balancing it on my wardrobe because I didn't have a phone stand or nothing. I was just like trying to then encourage people like, come on, you could do 10 more. And it's just like, oh, it was the worst. I ended up taking a job in Hermes at the time because I had more time on my hands with doing it from home. And then obviously because my clients weren't working, and then a few of them lost their jobs, and obviously I lost business. I went to work at Hermes, and I ended up just trying to work. I ended up going and trying to work my way through Hermes at the point and do my clients at home and just make as much money as I possibly could. I was just trying to go, again, just workaholic came out of me. The point where I just couldn't help it. I went to Hermes, started just like, the parcel sorting. And then I moved up to customer services, which was more money. And then there was a travel manager job going. So I went in for that, and I'm gutted. They were like, oh, you would have got the job. And I'm like, why would you tell me that? Why would you tell me that when I've not got it? Why would you tell me I almost had it? Because the guy who used to have the job was coming back. He'd moved away and he came back. And then I was trying to seek more money. And then by that point, I started picking up. We could go into the gyms again. And then I was like, right. And then when I was at the gym, I was just like, I need to have my own place. I said, I've been in that many gyms now. This is just not home anymore. I was like, right, after COVID, that's when I started thinking, let's expand our garage. I was like, let's make it really big. And then I was like, right, I have to get my own place now. So then I ended up looking into renting spaces, ended up building this place and then getting this going. And then now I'm on the whole brain thing of, right, I've been in here, not even a year. Let's make a gym. Let's see how this is going to go. So major upscale is in the brain works at the minute. There's a lot to do before I get there. There's a few years of planning in the mix to go. But yeah, now I'm on my next big idea, which everyone's like, are you sure? I'm like, yeah, it's perfect. I mean, what's a couple hundred, 1,000? It's that. And just like, see how that one's going to go. That's the next step now. But yeah, I still sit still. That's my problem.
So how did you find this place then? Did you look at, I'm assuming you looked at a few places, did you? Or was this the first kind of place that cropped up?
Yeah, well, I was sat on like, just sitting on Google and just being like rooms to rent, seeing what I could find. And then there was just nothing. It's just either something that was tiny but extortionate in price. And you're like, is that all I'm getting for that? And I think because it was post-COVID as well, it was just, there wasn't really much to go on. There wasn't really much space. Loads of businesses were obviously selling out, so there's stuff left over, but there was nothing either big enough or close enough to like centre of town where there's going to be more people coming in and out. And
parking as well is meant to be a big thing.
Yeah, huge thing. We're quite lucky around here. There is quite a lot of space to park. Yeah. So we're all right here.
As well, isn't it, free?
Yeah, it's good. And then you can go on some of the other bits and it's like you can stay all day. But yeah, trying to find parking, trying to find a big enough space where I could do what I wanted. But then at the time, I didn't want something too big where it would drown out what I wanted to do. Because obviously at the time, I was just planning, oh, it's just me. It's just a space for me and my clients. Can't go too big because otherwise I'll just look like a little person in a tiny big room. So I was trying to find something like modest But yeah, like I found this place because I think I'd rang the council in the end. I was like, right, whose path can you put me on? And they said about Atlas Works. So I rang in here and had a look around, and it was literally a building site. Like they had the option of the downstairs one as well, which was at the time 2 open places, and I could have the whole thing. But I just couldn't afford it. I was like, right, I can't do that yet. That's maybe too big of a jump. And then this one up here, I was like, it's perfect. It said light. I said there was a lot of work to do, but it wasn't as much work as downstairs. I was like, I could see me working in here. Said I can get a good bit of kit in here. I was like, right, I can do this because this was originally all one thing. There's something on the other side.
Okay.
And I was like, right, I want walls put in there. And the corridor wasn't even mine at the start. It was a guy that had a recording studio, and it looked like it was about to fall down. It did look great. And I was like, and then eventually he left, and I was like, I want it. Whatever it is, put me down for it. I said, I want that room. I said, I want a corridor that's mine. It looks really good. And then I managed to jump on that. And then now we're too small. That's my problem now. I took Molly on, and then got Katie in as well. And then I'm looking to get somebody else in. It's just like, right, we're really outgrowing this now. And then the amount of girls that want to come in here, and I have to, either we're fully booked, or I have to say like, oh no, we're not a gym yet. I said, we don't have enough room to just let you come in and train. It's like, right, there's market out there, there's the demand out there, right, what can I do? So there's nowhere female only around where we live. I was like, right, I need to hone in on that. There's something that I could do with this, and it could be huge. And I said, the fact that I've been in loads of different gyms, and I've learned what I didn't like in gyms, and I've learned some of the bad points, and then I know some of the good points. I need to mix it all up and put it in my own place. And that's the next step.
Yeah. What was the vision then when you first had the idea in your head? Then when you found this place, because like say if it was a building site, what did you want to build, or what did you want to create?
I don't know. I knew I needed a space that was mine and just had my stamp on it. And I don't even know where the black and pink came from. Pink's like my favourite colour. And I was just like, what can I do with that? What's going to be different to everywhere else? And I was like, right, that no one paints it black. Let's go black. Let's go dark. And I said it was another thing about, like, obviously I work with a lot of women who struggle with confidence. It's like, right, that way they don't have to worry about bright lights shining on them and then pointing out all their wobbly bits or like a cellulite on the legs. They don't have to wear, if they're wearing colourful leggings and they think they can see through their leggings, doesn't matter, you can't see, it's black. And I was like, just little things to cover up things that happen in gyms, and you have like mad spotlights on you and exercises where you're bending over, and it's like, you don't want a spotlight on your ass when you're about to bend over and exercise. I was like, how unflattering is that?
Yeah.
So I think it was just, I wanted to do something that no one else had done. I wanted to be different, and I wanted to be something unique that would stand out. Because Carl has a small place. Once you do something a little bit different, it's going to get seen. And I was like, perfect. That's what I need to do. And I think I just seen the empty space, and I thought, I don't know, this like idea that I had in my head, everyone thought I was crazy. And when I had like my budget to start off with, and it's like, oh, you don't really need mirrors. I do. It's like, oh, you don't need pink lights. Because I remember the guy first quoted me was like $6,000 for lights. So like, you're going to pay $6,000 for a set of lights. And I'm like,
in the nice lights.
Yeah. I didn't pay that in the end. Thank God. I found my way out of the $6,000. I was like, I feel like that. But I didn't admit it at the time. I was like, oh, I definitely need $6,000 lights. I was just like, I need to do something no one else has done. I was like, I can't just put usual things in. I said, it needs to be unique. And I think just having like that female only atmosphere, like having that vibe of everyone coming in, having somewhere where it's different, and it's just, you know, it's other females that are in the exact same position as you, people with all different ages, abilities, different body shapes, and just realizing how everyone looks good, but in their own different way. And I thought, well, everyone needs to understand how being unique is a good thing. Right. I need to make something that looks unique. So it kind of vibes that out straight away. So I think in my head, I was just so determined to do that I was like, right, it's got to be different to everyone else then. What can I do? And I just went the complete opposite to everyone else that I've seen before. And I'm like, right, that'll work. And everyone else hated me for it. So I just roped in all my family and my friends to just like, right, can you help me, guys? I don't know how to do this myself. I was like, yeah, I've got the idea, but yeah, you're all going to help me. You don't get a say in this. You're going to have to come in and paint with me. And yeah, I just came out with more wacky ideas, and they're like, really? I'm like, yeah, sorry.
That's funny. So was it what you expected then, like building it? Because it's like pretty cool in here. And I can't even imagine what it looks like before you started building it.
Oh my God. Well, literally
Is it
over
easy,
there.
harder? Or?
Wires hanging out of the ceiling. There was holes in the wall. There was damp everywhere. There was smashed windows. Like when it was a bomb site, I remember when I first met Molly and I brought her in and I showed her it, and I was like, do not pay attention to what it looked like. Just look at the fact that it's space. That's all you need to see. I was like, so people are supposed to do like house renovations, so look at it as a blank canvas and then be like, okay, no, I can see what I'm going to do this. I think I just had to do that and just I knew I wasn't going to get anywhere that looked like the finished product. So I just had to be like, right, I need something sound enough to know I've got space to do what I want. And it was honestly awful when I came in. It was so much harder to do than I thought. Like so much harder. There were so many obstacles we came across. Like I think when I first moved in, I was really good because I thought, right, surely when I rent this place, before I get in and get the keys, they'll hide the wires, they'll sort out my smashed window, they'll do all of that for me. And I was like, yeah, of course they'll do that. And I came in, went after my holiday because I was like, right, that's when I can start painting and moving stuff in. There were still wires hanging down. There were still the smashed windows. I was just like, oh my God, they've done nothing. And I remember being like, how dare you? How come you've not done your work? I said, I am furious. I said, I've been waiting for you to do it. You've done nothing. They're like, oh, well, we don't do any of that. And I'm like, right, sleeves up. It's not a case of we've got a deadline now. Shit's got to get done. I said, we've just got to crack on. It's got to be done now. And I just remember roping everyone in. I remember my dad being his usual negative Nelly, be on the middle of a ladder, sanding. It's like, it's not going to get finished. I said, we can't do this in time. I'm like, well, if you keep saying it, it won't. So shut up and do your work. So like, just crack on. He said, it won't with that attitude. And I remember I booked Joe in to do the filming for us. And it had to be some sort of looking good for the film so I could promote it and get all my clients in. And and it just kept getting closer to that day. And I was like, still not finished. I was like, we've got to work through the night. And we used to just, like, I'd be in here, I'd be working at Boytech around the corner. I'd be in here at like 5 a.m. and I'd be like, right, what quick jobs can I do before I get my first client in? Then in the middle of the day, I would come in here and like, there'd be literally a plaster. The plasterer was like doing the walls while the electrician was in and while we were painting the other wall. It was the most backwards thing we've ever done. We've done it all in the wrong order. And my dad was like, this is wrong. You should do this first and do this first. I was like, no choice. I was like, it either gets done now or it doesn't get done. And I think we've done everything the wrong way around. Like my dad was literally standing a wall while I was trying to paint. And obviously that's just the most stupidest thing you've ever tried to do. And then the plaster, like we had to wait until it dried and it was still a bit wet. And I just didn't tell anyone. I was like, let's get this on. And I just thought, if I paint it really quick, no one will know it's wet. And I just had to like do everything in the most stupid order and just rush to get it finished because we thought we had more time because we thought they were going to do it and they didn't. But yeah, that was a spanner in the works. Just at least I was like, oh God.
So what was it like the opening day then? For that day?
Honestly, the opening day, no one turned up. Not a single person turned up. I had a few of my clients come in. We had all those lot here, family here, my friends here. We had loads of lovely businesses that volunteered the time all day. We had beautiful displays. We had like people had like got tickets to come in. I think we got like 50 tickets of people's come in, ready to come in, and not one turned up.
Really?
I was like, oh great, this is a good start. And I was just like, right, just pretend it never happened. Pretend it never happened. It was fine. And honestly, it was just one of those things. We just timed it so wrong. It was Park Life on at the time. There was like 3 festivals. There was like a Lewis Capaldi concert. I think it was midsummer on a Saturday and it was just the wrong day. But that I learnt loads from. And you know what? That's not stopped us since. We've absolutely flew since. So I'm just like, well, that was one day. So the people that showed up were really lovely. They were dead encouraging. So they've all had businesses. They were so nice. They said everyone else that had in just complimented how it looked, what we'd done, the effort we'd put into the day, the way we decorated it all the stuff we'd set out for the day. It was just, we had so many compliments. And then it's one of those things on social media. I was like, oh my God, what a brilliant day. That must have been so good. When really no one realised that no one was here. It just, because we'd made it look so good, inviting everyone in, no one even realised there was no one here because there was that many of us here set up ready to do something big. And it was just like, I couldn't believe that was how it turned out. And then since then, we've been on an incline like no tomorrow to the point where like we can't take on anymore. We really are maxed out. And I'm trying my best to put a business brain in, like, what can I do? What can I fill? What can I put where? And it's just, the plan's next is just we have to expand. And if I had to go to a bank and ask for more money or something to tell them about that first day, I definitely wouldn't have got any further forwards. But the fact that from then it's only went up and went up like amazingly, I'm just like,
yeah, I think it's important that you didn't let that one day like define your whole business, isn't it?
No.
Because a lot of people, I don't know, I feel like launching something's the easy part, isn't it? Like again, like say doing the work, I know it's hard, but the first day that would be the easy part, launching it. But then it's the months after, like you say, you've been in here 9 months, and I bet that's the slog, isn't it? If you want to have something for a long time, you need to put in that work day in, day out, show in and show up. Every single day, no matter what, and just be consistent. Whereas, like you say, if you learn a lot from it, what did you learn from that day, do you think? nobody cares, like really deep down. Like that's the one thing that I learned when I first started out, that even though like I care about my thing more than anyone else in the world, when it comes down to it, nobody gives a fuck.
Oh, no, definitely not. Yeah, I was going to say, if it wasn't me putting in the beans for it, then who else is going to do it? Like if I walked away, it would work. And eventually I want to keep trying to surround myself around people who have the same. It won't be the same because it's mine. I care more about myself than anyone else. I could be selfish like that and be like, yeah, I care about it. But I just don't think until I get the right people around me and find those people with the same sort of passions, it's always going to take me to do that and move forwards and just ignore the little self-doubt in the mind. Just get it in the back. It doesn't matter. Because if it fails, it fails. I'll start off and I'll find something else. It's not going to stop anything. Like I've got my whole life ahead of me. God, if I live till I'm 90, thank God if I do. Like if I live till that long, you could do loads in there. I might do a 180 by the time I'm like 40 and do something completely different. I don't know. I'll find out when I get there. But right now I'm like, well, I'm the only person that's going to get it going. So if I stop, it's just not going to work. So just keep doing it and figure out how it's going to go. I said, you can only keep going. I said, if you stop, you're just going to be like, oh, well, that's it. And it's just boring.
Yeah.
I'd be sitting on my bed twiddling my fingers being like, I need something else to do.
Find something, I'm sure, pretty soon. So when did you think it really kicked off then? Like you say, maybe a bit of a slow start. Then when did you really think, oh, bloody hell, I'm getting a bit busy now?
I would say not that long afterwards. I would say by the end of July, August, flying. Absolutely flying. We were pretty shocked at the time. I think because I've done PT for so long, you kind of know when your busy times are and your weaker times, that's the wrong word. The quieter times are. But like say like summer holidays, it's always quiet. If you've got like, I've got a lot of mums that are clients, obviously they're away with the kids or like they find it harder bringing the kids in. So then obviously now I've got a space where I can say, well, you can bring your kids with you. That's fine. It's only for an hour. That was always quieter times. And September was where everyone was ready for the party dresses in winter and they want to get back to routine. They've had a summer off. They just feel a bit sluggish. You got used to your timings. And then when we started this place, God, none of them were what we thought. Like the busy times and the quiet times totally changed because we had a different type of audience, which I wasn't expecting. Like we appealed to a lot of people, but the audience was different to what I was used to, with obviously having different girls work with me. Their audience is different. So it's like, all right, okay, I need to figure out what kind of audience we've got for what this place is bringing in. Right, let's hone in on that. Like, what do those people look at? What do those people do? And then put towards those people and keep bringing it in. Then from there, went crazy. Just more and more people coming in. Like Mole took a leap of faith in me, like a huge leap of faith in me. And she's always been working for someone doing what she does. And I kind of obviously encouraged her to go self-employed. And I knew how scary that is. And then she had the trust in me to go for it full instantly. Like it took literally like those few months. And before she knew, she's like, why haven't I done this sooner? She's just like, I can't believe I've waited till now to do it. And I was like, honestly, you believe in what you're doing, you do a good job of what you do, and you make those people feel good every time you see them, and even outside the time you see them, what have you got to lose? I said, all everybody wants is to feel good about themselves. And it's like, if you can do that, you can do everything else. And it's just crazy. Like Katie as well. Katie was brand new. Like she's brand new to PT and literally just qualified, but because she's been doing training for so long and she's got that personality, even bringing her in, I was like, you'll be full in a few weeks. It's true to word, straight away. And it's just like mad that they've got that many people coming in to where we are and that many people are seeing it, that I can say to people, no, you'll be full. And it's like, you'll be fine. It's just mad to think that we can bring that many people in. Like, I remember when I was a PT and I used to have mad moments of panic being like, oh my God, I'm not going to make any money. I was like, I'm not going to bring one in. If I lose one client, I would take it to her and be like, oh no, I've lost one. When am I ever going to need another one? What's going to happen? And now it's just another story. I'm just like, I've never had something like this before. Now I've got a place I can like appeal to people. It's not just me. I can appeal what I've been selling this whole time on a bigger scale. It's like, now I know I can deliver. I can deliver something really great.
If there's somebody listening to this then, or maybe explain to me who your ideal customer or client would be to come here. I know you said your audience is slightly different now than what you previously had. So who is that person?
So it's definitely the kind of person who kind of sits at home and, kind of pulls himself apart. Like literally, they're the kind of people who either can't look at a mirror or have like, if you're going out with friends on a weekend, the kind of person that pull themselves apart, wear an outfit, throw a tantrum, puts them in the worst mood because they think they look terrible. And they think as soon as they lose that weight or go into, right, I've got to be skinny, I've got to do this, I've got to take it all off. That's when I'm going to be happy. Those are the people who think they aren't happy now, the people who have no self-confidence, the ones who tear themselves apart and don't understand how good they actually look, and realizing you can make those changes but still learn to be happy in how you look at this moment. You're not being at that size that you think is going to change your life, and being in the size jeans or being back in that dress that's all of a sudden going to make and turn your life around, and have that idea in their head that their life is going to be solved at that weight. They're my audience. The people who don't realize that anything they want and their confidence come from where they are right now. Doesn't matter what your size is. Yes, you can make yourself feel better, and yes, you can train and you can change your body and you do feel good for it, but it should come before that. It should be about the journey getting there, and that one shape of your body isn't who you are. Like, God, women's bodies change all the time. Like, depending on if you're on your period, stuff like that, your body changes all the time. People who are having kids and they're pregnant, that changes the body permanently and then temporarily while you're pregnant. Like, our bodies change constantly. So if you can't remain happy in yourself outside of your body or like inside, then you're going to have a very hard life. Like, I know these people, like when I was younger, I used to do gymnastics, obviously being in a leotard. I used to be with some of the younger kids because I was in between age groups. That I'd be the one that I'd turn into a woman. I had more shape. I was a normal size, but I was with all these kids who were still skinny. And I used to feel huge compared to them. And it's just like that self-doubt kicks in and you don't feel good about yourself. And then you feel like, oh, well, if I'm skinny, I'll feel so much better. That'll fix everything. That'll fix all my problems. I'll look so good. And then everything in life will be sunshine and roses. And it's just, I've had to figure out from changing my body in so many different ways, going to as extreme as competing and doing that. And then having the whole eating disorder outside of that and being like, wait, I need to stop making my body my focus. I said, because I've seen how my life declines and increases depending on where I am in my body, and it's just not good. I need to level it out. I need to understand that I'm a separate person to my body. I said, I feel good as I am. And like I always say to a client, it's crude, but I always say to a client, I said, have you ever been to bed with a guy and they've said, walk out? I said, probably not. So I said, you've got 100% track record of not failing. So I said, if that doesn't make you feel good about yourself, I don't know what will.
Yeah, that's actually a good way to put it, to be fair.
It's something so stupid, but I'm just like, well, someone else doesn't care. I said, they obviously thought you were good enough to be where you are, so it didn't ask you to leave.
Why do you think women think that then?
I think it's just, I don't know. I think it's just...
Social media's an impact?
Yeah, definitely. But I think it's even been before that. And it's like, however much people say, oh, it's men, it's not. It's ourselves. We just beat ourselves up all the time. And it's like, we look at like other women thought, oh my God, doesn't she look amazing? Look at her outfit. She looks so good. I want to look like that. And then it's like, well, she probably has the same insecurities, but of herself. So I said, well, why do you want to look like that when she's got the same problem as you have, looking the way you do? And I think we're our own worst enemy. It's not like what guys say or anything like that, because I'm not going to lie, guys love a lot of different types of women, and it's a good thing. They're very appreciative of what you look like. There's not many guys that go, oh, have you got that little bit of fat there? Most of them don't notice. It's a great thing. I love that. And it's just, we're the ones that beat ourselves up all the time. We're like, oh, they look so good. I should look like that. Or like, we think like we should have a perfectly flat tummy. We think we should have really smooth skin all the time. But our bodies are different. We're just not like that. Like, men don't have cellulite as much as women do, but we've got thinner skin. So that's why you see fat cells more. And we carry more fat because that's just women's genetics. And it's just getting to a point where people understand that that's just what it is. Embrace what you've got and learn to look at the good things and enjoy them. Like, it's good that you don't look like loads of other females. It's good that we all don't look the same. We all don't need the flat stomach, the fat ass, the perfect skin, the flowing hair. Like, we all look different for a reason, and we all have our unique traits, which is why we get along with different types of people. Like, if we all were just little clones of each other, there'll be never any difference between us. We'd never have different business. We'd never have different conversations. It's just, everyone looks for something that thinks perfect, but then I just think it's waste. Everyone needs to be unique, and it's so much better if we are. Everything's better if we are.
Yeah, I definitely agree. And then what have you found the best way to reach those people, or like market your business to those people? How have you found that's got the best results for you?
Like, being honest, like showing them like what I've been through when I'm going through it. Like, if I have like a tough time, like showing them why, like, or showing them like times where I've changed my body, why I'm doing it, or like when I'm at what, like, to say as a personal trainer, sometimes you feel like you've got to look perfect all the time. I'm not perfect all the time. And it took me a long time to get to a point where I'm like, no, I'm okay with like if I've got more fat at some point, that's okay. I don't have to be skinny all the time. That's just, I don't have to look like that. It's what I bring to the table and how I change people's lives and make them feel and show them as a trainer how to train. That's my job. Like, just because I don't look what people's pinnacle is, it doesn't mean I can't do an amazing job and people I work with aren't really happy with what I do for them. That's not what it's about. It doesn't have to always be about your looks. And I think I'm always really honest with like how I look. Like, I'll happily post a picture of myself being like, look, I have had a 6-pack before and now I don't have one. That's fine. I'm still the same person. If my friends came and went for a meal with me, they wouldn't know any different. They wouldn't know, like, I'm not a different person to when I've got a 6-pack to when I've got like more fat on my stomach. Like, the other thing is, they probably say Amy's more miserable because she's hungry all the time. She's like,
that's true.
Someone get that girl some food. So I'm probably more miserable when I'm smaller, but yet like, if I posted it all the time, my God, the amount of like attention and stuff you can get, it just floods in. It's just like, well, it's not real. I said, well, I don't look like that right now. I look like this. And it's like, so you need to learn that is me and that's me. And if I want to change it over summer because I want to feel good about myself, I can do that. But it doesn't mean you have to. It's just, I feel good. And it's like, well, actually, no, I want to relax with my food. I don't want to train as much right now. That's fine too. Like, you go through phases depending on what you're doing at the time, what you're concentrating on. It doesn't mean you have to have a perfect body all the time. And I think letting people understand that and see that from me, like, I'd lead by example. And I think as long as I'm honest and be like, yeah, right now I'm not training at the minute because I've got other priorities and I'm okay with that. There's no punishment out there to say because I'm a trainer, I have to train all the time. Obviously, I would like to, but I was like, well, my priorities are elsewhere. My priorities are with my clients. My priorities are making business good because I want them to do well. And I can focus on that, but it doesn't leave me much time for other things. But I will start making that more of a priority because I know I'm a better person when I have got my health in check and my training's good. But to get this kick-started off the ground, I needed to give something up. And I'm fine to do that. But yeah, just being realistic with people and showing them yourself. I think being honest makes a big difference.
I think I posted a video the other day saying in 2023, I feel like there's going to be a switch to more authentic content.
Yeah.
And just more relatable things. Like, I feel like we've been through the photoshopped and edited kind of perfect thing, and people are realizing, like you just explained there, that you don't look like that real life. You don't feel like perfect. You're not always having a 6-pack. You're not always on the beach on holiday, because that's what people are guilty of, I think. And I've been in the past of just posting holiday pictures or videos.
Yeah.
Like, that person is always on holiday.
No.
They're dreaming they are. And just be more authentic is more relatable, and you get more trust, don't you?
Yeah.
Which I think is good. So what would you say is next then for this place? Apart from moving, obviously, in a couple of years. What's the plans?
A big ass gym. A big one. So yeah, now it's going to be a lot of work. I've got a lot to learn, and I'm only one tiny person. I need a lot of help, and I'm happy to admit that. It's just looking for the right help and the people who have got the same vision and understand what I'm aiming for. But the aim is to make a female only gym, and I want it to be big. I want it to be big, and I know there's scope out there for it. I want to help as many females as possible have somewhere they feel comfortable to train, where they're not going to get gawked at, or they're not going to feel uncomfortable around. Like, so there's obviously a lot of guys that are really good at training, and they're good at what they're doing. That it's not from their fault at all, but just they're good at what they do. They're strong, they're lifting big weights, and just that in itself is intimidating. Not that they've done anything out of place, but it's putting a lot of women with different abilities in one place, so they feel like, oh, I'm comfortable to train. If I want to wear them leggings that I maybe wouldn't wear in a gym when I know guys are there, I know I can wear them around other girls. And we just like little things like in here, girls like are coming in wearing gym sets that they wouldn't have worn at the gym because they're too scared to wear it. Like, and I'm encouraging my girls, I'm like, just wear the sports bra and the leggings. I'm like, oh, so naked. Then after a while they forget about, like, oh, it's nice to wear my gym clothes. I was like, I told you, you should just come in and wear it. Or like girls coming in wearing shorts and not having to think twice about whether there's cellulite on their legs. It's like, well, we've got them too. Just don't even see it. Just carry on. And just having like a full area, like a full gym with way more equipment and just more knowledge, and having other females in the same thing being more encouraging, and having like little things like putting a video on like a QR code on every machine. Just show them how to use it so they don't feel silly trying to work it out. There's that information there, and then to be like, right, have a go at that. There won't be spotlights in unflattering angles to make it look way worse than you actually do. It's like lighting's important, being like the fact that it's black, it's darker, so you can concentrate on training rather than feeling like you're getting caught in a mirror looking really terrible all the time and worrying about it, or just it. it's like opening a space that's allowing people to feel like they can make mistakes and figure it out as they're going along, and having other women there that are different bodies, different shapes, and not just the good looking young girls that kind of come in and just naturally have great bodies, and people who are older thinking, oh God, I don't look like that. I can't go to the gym looking like this. Everybody, all ages, all abilities, whether you've been doing it for ages, whether you've just started, I want to create something fun and just knowledge and have lovely people around, like trainers like me that are willing to boost women up, and they come in and they leave and they feel so great. And like little things, I like to be stupid. I'm putting a slide in for leg day. Like when you can't walk and you can't get downstairs, there is a slide. I have made that like a big thing. I said to my clients, I said, slide, did you know that?
I bet they don't believe you.
No, and I'm just like, it's happening. I'm telling you, it's happening. And I just think like putting fun into it and making gym an enjoyable place to go, and making it where there's like little things like a lot of women have kids. Put a creche in there, pay as you go creche. Go and train, your kids can go and soft play. You know they're looked after. You don't have to worry about childcare because that is a big thing. And it's so expensive to put them in nursery. And yeah, a lot of women want to feel like themselves. They want to feel fit. They want to change their body after pregnancy because it doesn't feel like theirs. And there still takes like 2 years afterwards just feel like themselves. But at least they'll have a space where they can know their kids are safe and they can come and do something for themselves and not feel so guilty for it. They don't have to rely on asking like loads of members of the family every time they want to go to the gym. And like they tend to put that on the back burner because they feel guilty about asking for the gym. It's like, oh, well, it's not important. Like I've got a doctor's appointment, I have to go. Like it has to be something serious before I'll ask for babysitting. It's like, well, no, that's for you. It's just as important. Now you've got a space to do that. Now we've got like classes that'll teach you how to do all the free weights, that'll teach you how to lift. You've got loads of other fields there. Like having like a hyped up class, being like, yes, get going. Like building them up and just have something different, something that's not been done here before. And just giving a space for females for really go at it and just feel comfortable and get them in the gym. Like it's the era of girls going to the gym now. It's become so much like more of a bigger thing. And I want that to be really catch on and just keep going. If I could, I would like to build an empire and do loads of them. I'm not going to stop anytime soon, but that is the next few years worth of graft. And there's going to be a lot of tears, I can probably guarantee. A lot of tears, but it'll be worth it. And if I could do what's in my head and have even like the little messages that get sent now of women being like, oh, you've just like come into the gym at the start of the year. Now I feel so much better in myself. That you girls have really like made my year. Said I feel like such a better person now. Just those messages, if I can get them from building the gym on like a bigger scale, I will be happy. That would be a great day. Yeah. That's what we're going for.
So you've talked a lot about doing stuff for other people. How's having this place made you feel on a personal level?
Oh, I love it. It's like, it's fun. It's my baby. It's my second home. I love it. I think I love having like that, like reward. Like, definitely someone like at school, like I love being told, oh, good job. Like I love that. And I feel like making something and people going like that, they feel good. That's my sticker. Like, that's like, you've done a good job. Here's a gold star. Like, it's just hearing those people come in and comment and like having them like walk out. That's my reward from it all. Like I've realized how much I enjoy them doing well and how much when they come in, they're like, I'm so happy I've had you here to help me do this. I'm so happy. You've changed my life. Like my body's so different. I feel so good. Every time that happens, it's just like, it just resets in. Like it's like that constant reward being like, yeah, I'm doing a good job. I like what I do. And it just, I'll never get enough of that. I'm such an extrinsic like rewards kind of person. Like I can't help it. And then just like being like, I don't know, when someone says, oh, it looks good. I'm like, built that. It's that licky cocky person in my head being like, I did that. Obviously a lot of people as well, but it's like, that wouldn't have been here if I didn't think of that. I just love it. I can't help myself. It's just, yeah, I love the rewards from it. They're too big to not enjoy it.
Yeah, because even like me rocking up today saying it looks nice, you're the one who's been here from when it was looking like a building site to now, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So have you ever had any regrets or mistakes that you want to mention, personal or business, on the podcast? Didn't have long to think, you only had this morning, didn't you? Put you in the spot.
I don't know. I think there's like loads of different mistakes, but I don't think I regret any of them because I think I've learned from every single one. I mean, it's cheesy, everyone says that, but like,
they're literally, yeah,
you do. Like, I think like
it's a good mindset to have, though. I think
little like stupid things saying forward building this, the most backwards way we ever did it. It's like, well, I definitely won't do that on the next one. I was like, I won't be doing that again. That was hard work. And just like really stupid things when I was building the other rooms, and people were like, right, you need to get the like this type of wood and these screws and stuff. I'll get to the shop and I'm like, what do you need? I'm like, I don't know. I said, I just got sent here for some wood. I don't really know what I've got from. I'm like, I need to get better at asking. Or like people like little things like I asked a tradesman to come and they expected me to bring the materials. I just assumed they would. And then I'll just be like, I was like, oh, is this not here? I can't do the job unless you got materials. It's like, why not? I thought you would bring them. I was like, no, I do that. I was like, well, I know that for next time. I said, I've done it now. Just like really stupid things building this place I've learned. And then like, I look back at when I first started PT and some of the cringiest things I used to do. Like I remembered I was obviously only 19 and in my head I had this lovely girl come in and I was doing bench press with her because it was very like you got taught like broad things like, yeah, we must bench. And I made her do the bench press and obviously 20 kilo bar. And then she was like, I can't do it. I'm like, yeah, you can. It's only the bar. And I was just so convinced that was what it was. I was like, yeah, just come on. You can lift it. And she's like, I can't. I'm like, I should lift that. I said, and I just like that. I think because I've always been strong from doing sports, it was that realization like, oh no, okay. Not everyone could do what you think you can do. You need to learn to work around this and just, yeah, I felt so bad. And at the time I was like, I can't she lift that? And then obviously later on, I'm like, she needs to start with the dumbbells first and build her up to 20 kilos because it's a lot of weight and just really stupid mistakes I've learned over PT and just learned from those and then grew up and then moved on and just, yeah, all those little mistakes. I look back and maybe cringe, but I'll never do them again. So I'm like, well, great. Now I won't do them again. I'll keep moving on. And I'm sure there's many mistakes with doing the gym that's going to come ahead. I'm going to make a lot of suck-ups.
Yeah. I feel like if you don't make any mistakes, you won't learn from anything, do you?
No, definitely not.
It's important.
Definitely not.
So then let's plug the place. Anything you want to say?
Not that I've not done that already. Shut up.
Here's the point of the podcast, but this is where you can actually officially
come to my gym. It's really good.
Hopefully what you said, and I definitely believe what you said, will appeal to a lot of people and how passionate you are about it as well. Yeah. It's really cool. So yeah, go for it.
I hope so. I just think if there's anyone like out there, like, so thinking, right, I don't know what to do in the gym. I'm so lost. I don't feel good in myself. I feel so terrible. I constantly make my way at thing. I look horrible in my clothes. I just can't even look at myself in the mirror. This is the place. You need to be here. Like we're here to support everyone at different ages, different sizes, different abilities. And you just need to learn how to look after yourself. You need to learn how to feel good about yourself. There's so much of life we spend like looking back at the thing thinking, oh my God, and so much brain space and just time wasted thinking we look terrible. Like when we one of my clients came and she's like, oh, when I was a teenager, I used to think I looked terrible. And then she's like, I look back at the picture, I actually looked really good. I said, I'm a lot fatter than that now. And I'm like, yeah, but you probably felt the same way then about yourself as what you do now. So you've got the same problem, even at different sizes. I said, you need to fix that. I said, otherwise you're constantly going to be digging away at yourself and thinking, oh, I look terrible. And then before you know it, you're like, well, there's life I've wasted. I look back, oh, I actually looked really good. What have I done with that time? And it's like, you need to be in somewhere that's ready to support you, ready to show you that, no, you look good. Go out and be confident. Yes, you can change your body, right? Let's change it. To teach you how to do it. Give you lifelong skills to be able to move on the rest of your life. We don't do things like we don't have people stay long term, even though half my clients have been like here for like 6 years. Like, you do know you can do it yourself. No, I'm going to commit. I still come with you. I'm like, oh, okay. But we teach people skills that they can take away. We make it long lasting, stuff that fits into your life, not you changing your whole entire life to diet. That's just not how we work. We teach you the skills, we fit around what your life already is. And then you're able to keep it going long term. It doesn't have to be, right, I've got to be on chicken and rice now for 12 weeks and that's the only way I'm ever going to look good. Yes, it works. Don't get me wrong. I've been there, done that. But how are you after that? What's your after? How have you got on? Are you managing to maintain that? Are you still enjoyable? Are you still happy? Do you feel good in yourself? Are you managing to maintain going to the gym, or did you go all out when it was too hard and now you can't sustain it? Like, how are you doing after the after? That's what we look after. We make sure we put things in place now to teach you for long term. And that's what people need to think of. The people who need that need to stop the yo-yo in, feel good about themselves. This is the place to be. This is what we're doing for everyone. It's for those people.
And where can they find you? What's the address and the social media handles?
Also at RWA Studios, and we've got the same web address, RWA Studios. Type it in, it's the first thing that pops up because we're unique. No one's got our name. But yeah, then obviously Amii Haughan with 2 eyes, awkwardly. Most of the time you type it in, you see it straight away. Oh, there she is. And then you've got Mol as well, Mol Glassing. You've got Katie. Katie's in a Katie main, but PT with Katie, and they got Movement Mol. So we're all in there. You'll find us all. And we've got Susan that works as well. You've got Rose who does our yoga. Yeah. And all the girls that are out there as well, give a shout out to little girls. We've got Beth, who does hope therapies. She's sports masseuse. We've got Keita Holistic Healings. And we've also got Alice as well, who Alice is aesthetics. So we've got all my girls that are out there as well. So they're bringing in the whole feel-good package. So looking after them physically, make sure their muscles are looked after, detoxing, winding down, the holistic approach, and the aesthetics keep making you feel good. Keep that younger look if you want it to. If you want to change, that's fine by me. Go for it. Whatever makes you feel good. We have the whole confidence package.
Building that
Looking good
empire.
by the time we go out. It's a one-stop shop.
Nice. Right. So everybody, I hope you enjoyed the podcast. If you're listening on Spotify, make sure to follow the podcast, leave a 5-star review. If you watch on YouTube, make sure to subscribe, like the video, comment your favorite part, any comments and questions for Amii, leave in the comment section below. And we'll see you next time. Bye, 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 bye.